Give me a couple of lines at the volume.
Mic check. I think I'll be talking about this level. Sometimes I go up here. So I talk loudly and you don't do the broken voice. She was only 16 years old. You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of Bit Weird, but fair enough, I guess. I hope you've had an enjoyable week of weirdness. I know I certainly have, and the kind of things that make it an enjoyable week in weirdness are when things like this come across your desk. How's this for a headline? Woman diagnosed with urinary auto-brewery syndrome. Doctors in the US have reported the first known case of a woman who urinates alcohol. So this poor woman, 61-year-old woman, had cirrhosis and diabetes, and she was originally going to go on a liver transplant list, but the doctors said, look, you can't go on a liver transplant list, you're clearly an alcoholic. So you need treatment for alcoholism before we'll consider you for liver transplant. Her urine was tested for alcohol and repeatedly came back positive, even though this poor woman kept claiming that she didn't drink. And there were certain signs of oddness there in that, according to her urine, she should have been off her face. But she appeared quite sober to everybody. And it turns out after a lot of testing and so on that he came up with a new problem for people, urinary auto-brewery syndrome. So she's got ethanol being produced and fermenting in her bladder. So yeast colonizing in her bladder would ferment sugar. So not so great for her health-wise, but extremely popular at parties, I would imagine. Can you imagine what kind of annoying life that is to lead? Number one, you're suffering all these health effects of alcoholism without having ever had any of the fun of drinking. Irresponsible way to phrase it, perhaps, but you know what I'm trying to say. And also, everyone thinking you're a pisshead when you're not. Arguing with people that you don't drink. Going, yeah, righto, lush. Another thing to happen this week in Sydney, where I'm from, is the escape of some baboons who were on their way to a hospital and, managed to escape their handlers and start roaming around on the streets. Now, unfortunately, here in Australia, we get precious little baboon news, so this was, a joy. But add on to that the fact that the male baboon in the group was actually on his way to getting a vasectomy before escaping. How did he know? How did he know? Was it some sort of, had he started understanding human language enough to know that he was about to get snipped? Or is there some sort of baboon sense, much like a spidey sense, where, if someone's going to come at your bits with a knife, then your head starts going wong, wong, and you know that danger is imminent. And as with a lot of these things, the most enjoyable imagery is, thinking of someone walking down the street to get a burrito and then just having 3 baboons charging past them. Baboons. Enjoyable to say, enjoyable to watch.
And welcome back to Bit Weird, but fair enough, I guess. I'm joined by a guest. His name is Monty. Hello, Monty.
Hello, Stu. It's nice to see you.
Oh, I'm very glad to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. It's a good outfit you've got on.
Go on.
Well, you know what you're wearing.
I know what I'm wearing, but do other people know what I'm wearing?
No, we'll leave it at that.
All right. Theatre of the mind. At play there. tell me something weird about you that I maybe don't know, because we've been friends for a while.
We have.
Surprise me with something weird about you that I don't know.
Okay. I once beat Russell Crowe in a game of ping pong. He was drunk. I was 10 years old.
Now, will it be funnier to ask questions around those circumstances, or would it be best to kind of just leave that sitting there?
Well, let's just say he didn't throw the racket at me following it, and we'll leave it there.
Right. Okay, all right, so he didn't kind of...
Do his regular shtick of throwing a phone at a worker. No, I just beat him at a game of ping pong. It was fun. He was just one of the people there, and I didn't know better at the time.
Did he try and read poetry?
No, but it was Romper Stomper era.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Romper Stomper era, isn't it?
Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to tell you about a bit weird law that I found.
Go on.
And I'll just see what you think of it.
Please, I'd love to hear about it.
And I've checked, and this is bona fide.
Go on.
It is an offence to possess 50 kilos or more of potatoes at any given time.
Where? Here?
In Western Australia.
Western Australia?
Yeah.
50 kilos or more?
Yeah.
Surely this poses all sorts of issues for potato farmers.
I hadn't thought of any. Maybe are there potato farms in Western Australia? Maybe there aren't.
Surely it poses all sorts of issues for potato importers and exporters. Well, just importers if we figure that there are no potato farmers.
All right,
surely they grow potatoes in Western Australia.
All right, well, let me read you the Section 22 of the Marketing of Potatoes Act, 1946.
One of my favourite acts.
I probably don't need to read it to you, but I'm reading it for the benefit of the listeners. You know it well.
I know it very well. I can mouth along with you for the people watching on News Channel 8.
So Section 22 of the Marketing Potatoes Act 1946 says, it prohibits anyone from selling, delivering, purchasing, or taking delivery of 50 kilos or what appears to be 50 kilos in brackets.
Go on. Wait, we need to dig into a bit of this. So if you had one giant light potato that was like 49 kilos, but that looks like a 50 kiloer.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Or it sort of grew hollow.
Okay, so...
And so it doesn't have much weight to it, but it's
Oh, a hollow potato. Yeah, that happens.
Now, having that in there kind of puts you at the mercy of, potato police who might be bad weight guessers. Okay, so there are many questions here. Is there a special division of potato police? Well, why would you create a law and then not get a kind of a special team to enact it?
Indeed. And going back even one more, what is the purpose of this? Why are they worried about you having more than 50 kilos of
I don't bring the whys, I just bring the whats.
That's fair.
Yes, it prohibits anyone from selling, delivering, purchasing, or taking delivery of 50 kilos or what appears to be 50 kilos or more of potatoes unless...
Oh, go on, okay.
You are a member of the Potato Corporation or an authorised agent.
Big Potato.
This is a scam by Big Potato to get membership numbers up.
Jesus. Big Potato, mate.
Big Western Australian potato.
Yeah, you got to watch out for
pushing the little guy around.
Wow.
All right, so the penalty for breaking this law is a fine of up to $2,000 for a first offence or $5,000 for a subsequent offence, in addition to an amount up to twice the value of the potatoes.
I have many questions. I'm quickly going to Google up how much a kilo of potatoes costs.
Well, let's say currently about $5 or $6.
Really?
Well, maybe. I don't know.
$3.50.
$3.50, $4. All right.
That's brushed, though.
Oh, you got to have them
dirty
brushed.
ones, you can get even cheaper.
You got to have them brushed. Who's got time for dirty potatoes?
So that being said, it's only really $150 or so, $170 worth of potatoes.
Yeah, I know, but that's
a weird thing to not want people to do.
Yeah, but just give us flat fine. You don't need the fuck you element of the amount of potatoes factored into the fine. That's ridiculous.
This is a bizarre rule. I am really confused. It feels like a genuine big potato money grab where they're coming and kicking your potato carts out of your hands. And
yeah, that's right. Or just rocking up at your potato farm, assuming there are any in Western Australia.
We don't know about that.
And, can I see your papers?
Yeah, papers, potato papers.
Can I see your marketing Your potato corporation.
That looks like 50 kilos of potatoes. You're done, mate. You nicked Cobber.
Graham, we told you, you're the worst potato guesser amongst us. Stop yelling out how much potatoes you think.
He's holding 2 potatoes. Jeez.
Weight, it matters on weight.
Oh, I thought you meant 5 potatoes.
They're 225 kilo potatoes. Well, so
Wow.
if anyone knows more about that,
Please write in.
please get in contact. We need some whys. I don't have time in my life to look up why.
If we are not on air again next week, big potatoes, where to look? Yeah, you got to look.
But I mean, it wasn't hard to find this law. It's out there.
So this is still on the books?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wonder what the benefits are of being a member of the Potato Corporation. Like, you pay your money.
The ability to not be fined for having over 50
but
kilos
is
of
that
potatoes.
it? Is that it? $5
know.
or whatever, $20 a year.
Membership, potato unions.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Well, Potato Union not doing much for the working potato man,
How do
clearly.
you import potatoes? I mean, you must be part of the union, I suppose. Don't worry.
So there you go. I'm going to move along and tell you a little story.
I'd
Monty.
love to hear one.
And it's about a fellow called James Harrison, Australian fellow.
Jimmy.
Yep, Jimmy Harrison. He's a normal bloke,
Yeah,
right?
go on.
But he's got one pretty unusual thing about him, and that is that he's saved potentially 2.5 million lives.
2.5 million lives.
Yeah.
That's now, okay, before you go on.
Are you going to try and guess?
No, that's a really large amount of lives, but it's also not a hugely large amount of lives.
What are you talking about?
Like, he can't have done something like stop a nuclear bomb going off. I'm very intrigued.
Well, it depends where it was going to go off.
Yeah, if it was in like...
On a West Australian potato farm.
Yeah,
then
nice.
probably
Yeah,
is.
nice. All right, go on. Tell me about Jimmy.
Okay. Well, when he was 14, he underwent some major surgery during which he needed some transfusions,
Yeah.
totaling about 13 litres of blood that he needed.
Okay.
And he survived and was so grateful for the fact that people had given blood.
Oh, he's going to
keep him
start just
alive.
giving blood all the time, is he?
Yeah, but there's a twist. There's a
Go
twist.
on. He could milk it out of his teat.
Well, I'm in two minds now. Now I want to change it to be that and pretend like that's what happened.
Yeah, Jimmy could
and
milk
hope no
blood
one
out
tries
his
to
teat.
fact check me.
Yeah.
So,
This show is going to have some problems if people try to fact check, by the way.
well, no, because I looked up a lawyer's.
That's the sound of him tapping the paper.
I looked up the potato one. It's from what I can tell,
Yeah.
it's legit.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
go on. Go on, Jimmy.
All right, so Jimmy was so grateful for the fact that people had given blood to keep him alive. He vowed to give blood as soon as he was allowed to. This was in 1950, so he had to be 18 before he gave blood back then.
Yep.
He turned 18, gave blood straight away, where it was discovered that he had freak blood.
Freak blood.
Yeah.
Freak blood Jimmy, they called him. Yeah. Hey, there's freak blood Jimmy.
Yeah, but that was when he was 15.
Okay.
Before anyone knew. And then,
Oh, nice, yeah.
and then the
What up,
prophecy
freak
was
blood?
true.
Yeah, go on. So what's special about his blood? Has he got no type or something?
No,
Or is he universal donor type?
No, he has an extremely rare antibody called RHD immune globulin, which fights a disease called rhesus disease.
See, now here's how good he must be. I've never heard of rhesus disease.
Yeah, well, that's it. 2.5
Jimmy's
million
put a
people.
stop to it. Yeah, nice.
So the antibodies could be used to create products that prevent hemolytic disease, which, amongst other things, can cause stillbirth. Yeah, so they developed the product, out of the antibodies, and giving it to mothers expectant mothers whose babies had shown some signs of hemolytic disease. And so, and then greatly reduce the effects of that disease.
So some questions there, Stu, quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Where is he? Where in the world is he? He's in Australia. Where in Australia is he?
I knew you were going to do that.
Oh, well, all right. Don't worry about that.
Well, where were you going with that?
Oh, I was going to potentially make a joke about the people he had saved. If they were Queenslanders, potentially we would have been better without them living.
You've been in a dark mood today.
Like Queenslanders.
Yeah. Do you want me to find out?
No. I think what we just did is better.
What's that?
What we just said.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Okay, wow, that's amazing. And I assume they're just guessing at that number?
Well, I mean, I guess that must be a number of how many times it's been administered
Yeah, okay.
to
How much blood?
parents who then did not have stillborn children.
I have questions for you, questions I fear you cannot answer.
No, try me. I'm not scared.
How much of his blood do they have to give a person to get the antibodies?
No, they don't just take his blood and jam it in someone else.
What? Okay, I'm really...
They take his plasma,
Oh, yeah.
which has an antibody in it,
Using centrifuge. Love that word.
from which
Yeah.
they create pharmaceutical products.
Oh, my word.
Yes, that they then give the expectant mothers.
Okay, I
Yes.
didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
I thought they were just everyone's getting a bit of
Well,
Jimmy's
he's
blood.
just
Yeah.
like a movie. He's
Yeah.
in the table next to them with a pipe going
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
into.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Yeah, doctors are stopping in after hours, a bit
That's
more
right.
of Jimmy's blood.
and just wheeling mothers in and out, and he's just there,
Yeah.
just slowly draining.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jimmy's donated plasma 1,173 times,
Wow.
and donating plasma is not the same as donating blood. Donating plasma is quite.
Did they put you in a centrifuge? They just swing you around by your feet and then take the foot blood out. Human centrifuge. I love it. I am right in thinking you separate plasma from blood with a centrifuge, right?
Why are you asking me?
Yeah. Well, you know all about
I
blood.
work in podcasting,
Yeah, fair.
mate.
All right.
And their estimate is that he saved 2.5 million lives through the amount of times that these products have been given out to expectant mothers.
Wow, that's great. That's really
there
good
you
to hear.
are.
Good on you, Jimmy. Thank you.
Freak blood Jimmy.
Freak Blood Jimmy, we'll call that one.
Yeah. That's my story.
Great.
Do you have a story for me?
Got one for you.
All right. There seems to be a lot written on that paper. That's an involved story, is it?
I don't know how much you consider a lot. It's one page, Stu.
You're a slow talker, though.
All right, so
You're
a
not.
couple of things. I am a slow talker. Do you want to interject during bits, or would you like me to read the whole thing? I think you should interject. We can talk about things.
I'll decide as we go along.
Go on then. So I'm going to...
You might bizarrely tell it in a way that answers
Everything you
question
did,
that would have popped up for me.
So now, I wanted... When Stu asked me if I had a weird story to come on and talk about on this, I immediately thought of a story I'd heard before, and I thought, this is great. So I looked it up, got all the information, and brought it down. A brilliant thing that happened when I was doing that, a new piece of information popped up that was even weirder than the beginning stuff, which made me feel great about it. We'll get to that. Okay, this is the story of Wojtek the bear, spelt Wojtek. It's a Polish name, Wojtek. In 1942, Wojtek was adopted by young Polish army corps in Iran. They called him Wojtek, which means happy warrior.
Right.
He initially had problems eating, so they fed him condensed milk from a vodka bottle, of course.
Yeah, so far so good.
He spent months at a refugee camp with them, but was then donated to the 22nd Artillery Company.
Artillery or artillery?
Yeah, I said artillery. That's a new word. Artillery Company. He travelled with the soldiers and would sleep with the men at night to keep them warm. He's still a baby at this time.
Aww.
He soon took
That
up...
would have been adorable.
Yeah, it would have been.
Little
It's
baby
a big
bear
bear, though. It's a
sleeping with-
brown bear. He's a brown bear.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Soon took up smoking and eating cigarettes and drinking coffee. He loved that. Eating cigarettes and smoking them occasionally, but preferred eating them by all accounts. He thought he was people. He used to play wrestle with the...
People don't tend to eat cigarettes.
No, I think that was his own twist on our custom. He used to play wrestle with the soldiers while he was a baby too. Mm. And as he grew, he saw all the men walking on two legs.
So hang on, when you say play wrestle...
They would wrestle. He's a baby bear. They could beat him at that stage.
Yeah. But what does he get people into, like an arm lock? And then...
Choking them out, getting them to tap.
Yeah, half Nelson.
No, Wojtek, no. He's tapping.
That's right. The bear putting his hand up to his ear so the crowd...
Yes.
Make the crowd yell a bit more.
Lovely. So he's growing up with these soldiers, and he saw all the men walking on two legs and marching, and because he didn't have any other bear influences, he grew to just walk on two legs like a person. He wasn't like a regular bear, so he would walk standing up.
Okay.
They gave him hats and stuff too, obviously.
Right.
Pretty cool. Okay.
So was there not much kind of shooting of artillery to be done?
At this time, they're waiting. The 22nd.
Yeah.
So then the Polish 22nd Corps were reassigned to fight alongside the British 8th Company in the Italy campaign. However, we hit a problem. The vessel that's going to carry the soldiers to the front line forbade pets and mascots. So the only way that they could get Wojtek to come with them was enlist him as an army private. So at that point, Wojtek was enlisted as a private in the army, just like a person.
Right.
Yeah. So, as an enlisted soldier with his own paybook, rank, and serial number, he lived with the other men in tents or in a special wooden crate. So,
With all the cigarettes he could eat, presumably.
yeah. So Wojtek starts watching him, sees what's going on, sees a lot of men carrying artillery to and from trucks and things like that.
Yeah.
Thinks these people, likes learning,
Yep.
says, I can do that, and fuck yes, I can do it better.
Right. With
And
his teeth?
No, he's carrying what 4 men can carry at once.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, he starts carrying this ammunition. Hectic, right? So, we get to his real, like, the big thing, right, is he was at the Battle of Monte Cassino, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so, at the Battle of Monte Cassino, Wojtek was a teenager. He was about 100 kilos then. Pretty big dude, pretty big. He did such good ammunition work at Monte Cassino that
Right.
following the battle, he was promoted to the rank of corporal.
Hey!
Yeah, on you, Wojtek. They like
Wojtek getting paid.
Yeah, Wojtek up there getting paid. I don't know what was happening to his money. Because he would have been getting paid. Either way, at this time...
Milliner's fees, clearly.
Nice, yeah. A lot of hats. They liked him so much, they liked Wojtek so much that they changed the imagery to this day of the 22nd Company of the Polish Army to an image of him carrying a shell. And so that's their battle image. It's really nice. Now, that's the end of kind of Wojtek's time in the thing. Following the war, he went to live at their battle image. It's really nice. Now, that's the end of kind of Wojtek's time in the thing. Following the war, he went to live at the Edinburgh Zoo.
Right.
Yeah, where he was frequently visited by Polish soldiers from the 22nd who were still alive, who would throw him cigarettes to eat.
Oh, right.
Yeah, loved it. They'd come.
I thought he meant shells.
No, they throw him cigarettes to
Throw
eat.
shells in with him.
And then there was this line in the thing I was reading, and I was like, this needs more information. Couldn't find any. But it went on to say Wojtek was a regular guest on British children's show Blue Peter. I don't know. It didn't say any more about that. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he was doing, but he was on Blue Peter.
Loading cannons.
Yeah, I
hopefully.
assume. Loading funnies into a funny cannon.
Hey.
And then the end of Wojtek's story, he passed away at the age of 21 in 1963. That's a bit earlier than bears normally pass away, potentially due to all the cigarettes he ate. There are like over 10 statues of him in different parts of the world, mainly in Poland, some in Edinburgh, about, the happy warrior Wojtek.
Well, that's an amazing story, but why are bears so boring these days?
Yeah, where are the army bears now?
Where are the cigarette munching
Well,
shell?
to be fair, bears aren't that boring these days. Don't we still have a few bears that work in Hollywood?
I don't know.
Remember that one, Ben the Bear?
Gentle Ben.
Not Gentle Ben. No, yeah, I remember Gentle Ben. No, Ben. No, what was that one who was in that? Do you remember that good Anthony Hopkins movie where he was being hunted by a bear after his plane went down?
Oh, extremely vaguely. I couldn't tell you a title.
Yeah, I seem to remember him being a working bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm extremely impressed by that bear, Monty, I have to say.
Yeah, he's a good bear.
Very good bear. Well, thank you so much for that story. I'm going to just quickly tell you a couple more things before we leave, if that's all right with you.
Okay.
I have the Bit Weird product of the week.
Please.
You can buy, if you want,
I do.
a giant soap dispenser in the shape of a nose,
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
so that you squeeze the nose,
Which bit do you squeeze?
well, the kind of
The schnoz?
fleshy part above the nostril, I would suggest. And then, go on, you look confused.
Yeah, the fleshy part above the nostril.
Well, okay, here, where,
Oh, up here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I would think you would squeeze the middle bit.
that's the bridge.
That's not the bridge of your nose. The bridge is up here.
Okay, but if you're trying to get...
This is very visual at the moment.
If you're trying to get fluid out of your nose, you don't push them. You wouldn't kind of go to the middle of your nose. You would squeeze where the fluid is around the nostril.
Wow.
I didn't expect you to kind of see
Question so much.
Well, just kind of think so scientifically about it.
How big is the nose?
Giant.
Like Wojtek size?
So imagine what a kind of regulation bottle of soap dispenser might look like, right?
Sure.
And then picture a giant nose that all around that. Oh, we'll put a photo up on the socials.
Thank you.
But you could have a giant nose stuck to the wall of your shower, squeeze it, stuff comes out the nostril that you can
That's
wash
funny.
yourself with.
I think there's some other kind of limbs and appendages that you could also stick to the wall of your shoulder. Whoa.
But presumably you would be impelled to just buy lime.
Did you say impelled?
Yeah.
What's that word?
Impelled?
Yeah.
Driven to?
I don't think impelled is a word. Maybe it is. Yeah, why have I forgotten the word impelled?
Well, that's quite an ironic...
Is it a real word?
Yes. Yeah. It's...
The power of Christ... No, compelled is the word I'm thinking of. Are you thinking of compelled?
Well, now you've got me confused.
Yeah, I don't think...
Because...
You would feel compelled to buy it.
Hang about.
Impelled.
Hang about.
Maybe compelled suggests outward forces make you want to do it. Impelled suggests you internally want to do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've used it correctly there. This is a bit weird, but fair enough, by the way, if you're wondering. It's a bit weird that we don't know how to use language anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't have a means to look anything up to see that just right now. But anywho's, you would want to buy some lime hand wash all the time, wouldn't you? Otherwise, the nose effect wouldn't kind of be good enough.
Oh, for the green colour, goober colour. Yeah, okay, all right. Red, some kind of cranberry or something, bleeding nose. That's funny.
That's fair enough,
It's
too.
funny, yeah.
Or a lemon. Is there a lemon hand wash? Because, mucusy tends to be a bit... Yeah,
I think there's probably a lemon hand wash.
I think we probably squeezed as much as we're going to get out of the giant nose soap dispenser.
That's funny. That was a play on words.
Yeah. This, Monty, is my parting oddity to you. The Haskell Opera House.
The what, sorry?
Haskell Opera House.
I heard the second part. Haskell. Like Eddie Haskell?
Sure, if his name's the same as the Opera House.
Okay.
It's on the US-Canada border,
Okay.
and it is so on the US-Canada border.
49th parallel?
It is so on the US-Canada border
Maybe
that the
different
stage
42nd parallel?
is in... Can I... Do you mind? The Haskell Opera House is on the US-Canada border, and it is so on the US-Canada border that the stage is in Canada and the audience seats are in the US. How about that?
That's pretty interesting. Brings up lots of questions.
What's that?
Like,
Customs?
yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, audience interaction, you have to stop and get a...
If I did not like the show and were to throw tomatoes, the traditional way to disapprove at a theatre, is that an international incident?
I would suggest so, and I would suggest that there's a row of customs officers in between the stage and the audience to catch the fruit.
Do you think it's funny that, well, it's weird that was originally, like you would go to a show with some rotting fruit in case you were to not like it?
Right.
I'm ready. And why do we not do that anymore?
And did that used to be like the star system now? So you'd have a bag of very rotting fruit, and maybe some that's not so rotting in the middle, and some that's
some ripe fruit,
only a day too old. And then if the performance is not quite there, you can decide which level of rottenness you want to throw the fruit at.
Hey, Dave, how'd you like the show last night? Oh, I didn't throw any fruit at him. Well, it must have been good.
And who are these peasants with fruit to throw away anyway?
Oh, it's rotting fruit. I assume they found it somewhere.
I guess. But what about, people on the run in the US, and there's suddenly a big influx after crimes of people going to this theatre to indulge in the arts and then escaping jumping up on stage and escaping. Imagine that.
Maybe that's the whole play of the theatre. They thought, look, the shows we're putting on are fruit-worthy, they're shit-house. We'll do it on the border so you can escape through the theatre, get more people in.
There you go. Well, thanks for joining me.
That's all right.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Just before we go, I might actually pick up on something we talked about in the first episode. I wasn't too sure about it. The Chinese law that prevents Tibetan monks from reincarnating. I've looked into it more, and it actually does appear to be a real thing. So much so that the law has an official title called State Religious Affairs Bureau Order Number 5, and the official wording of it goes, "It is an important move to institutionalize management on reincarnation of living Buddhas. The selection of reincarnates must preserve national unity and solidarity of all ethnic groups, and the selection process cannot be influenced by any group or individual from outside the country." It also goes on to say that temples that apply for reincarnation of a living Buddha must be legally registered venues for Tibetan Buddhism activities and are capable of fostering and offering proper means of support for the living Buddha. I mean, that last bit is fair enough, but what's the first bit saying? Again, you have to be part of the union, you have to be part of a legally registered thing, you have to get a license, or we're not going to let you reincarnate. So it's a payment, really, to be allowed to foster reincarnation. Reincarnation applications have to be submitted to 4 government bodies for approval, specifically the Religious Affairs Department of the provincial level government, then the provincial level government, then State Administration for Religious Affairs, and then State Council. I mean, you would just be sitting there in this pile of papers, right, trying to work it all out and just, oh, forget it. I'm not coming back. I can't deal with all this. Anyway, if that doesn't tell you the world's weird, I don't know what does. We'll see you next week. Please, if you've got any thoughts or questions or suggestions about weird stuff you'd like to hear about, please message us on our social channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Find us there.